Hey guys, it's Rich, our Jebethan Timber Frame Company, main timber framer. Hey, I just did a little project here with the Yeti Smartbench, the Precision Pro Plus, and I wanted to go through after I've done the project, kind of what my setup was and a couple things I learned about it. So I'm new to this, so I'm not an expert. So if you want to give me some feedback about being an expert, I won't be able to answer any of those questions. All right, so a couple things that I did is, if you'll notice right here, this is just a piece of pine. I've got a 4-side planer so I can plane some stuff out pretty true. So I just grabbed this. If you notice, had some knots in it, had a knot here, over here and so forth. And I just cut out some pieces to do this. And so when I mounted this piece here, I got a spoil board, a 1/2-inch piece of plywood. I just screwed it right to the spoil board. It's not connected to the smart bench below, if you'll see. So it's just sitting there. And then what I did here was, this is also 3/4 inch pine. This is 3/4 inch pine. So when you look at your smart bench and you look at these roller wheels here and here, and it's got the same thing on the other side here, is I slid those over so that way I had more of the smart bench beam running on the Y beam. So that way I had better support. I didn't want to just run here and have the machine tipping like this. So by putting this here and moving the rollers to both sides, I had some pretty good support to cut out in the middle. So that's what my setup was. And like I said, I just screwed them to the plywood. And then I ended up using just some of these clamps here. Clamps like this to hold it onto the Y-beam. So that's the setup of sorts. I did take the time to countersink the screws to make sure that as the smart bench, if it came across, it wouldn't hit a screw sticking up. So a couple things. What I want to do is, like everything else, you got to evaluate, your projects and see how things are working. So this is the first piece I cut out here. Then I cut out 3 pieces. I changed up a font. Actually, I changed up one of the bits. But I'll show you a couple things here in the cutout. So you're going to see a little bit of this, called onion skin. These are the tabs that you cut off here. You'll see a little more onion skin here, onion skin here. So I set my depth to 3/4. So now as I come back and evaluate, how did it work out? On one side, I say, wow, that's not very good. But here's what the real issue is if you see that because I didn't screw this all the way down here, see how I'm moving that? And we're only talking, thousandths or, a few thousandths of an inch, but that was enough to give me the onion skin. So what I've learned from that is, doing a project like this, I might have to put some screws along the way just to hold. If you look at this, this is a good example too. See how much that goes up and down. It'll be a good example of, maybe screwing it down a little better to get more precision. But overall, that's what the cutouts look like. And now what I want to do is show you what the pieces that I made. All right, let me bring them over here. So this is, I've got a Wood-Mizer sawmill. I run 4-degree blades. I'll talk about this 4 in a minute. I run 747-degree blades. I run 7s. So I'm going to paint these things up and put them on my post hangers. So that way when I take my blades off my sawmill, whether they're being sharpened or getting ready to be sharpened, they go in the right spot and we don't mix them up. So why am I doing this? Because I can. I got the CNC and got to try it out. Now, one of the things I want to talk about too is the font. So if you look at this, here, you'll see some little awkward lines in here on this. You'll see the same thing on the 747, some of these little oddball things like down in here. What this is I used a Brody D font, and I use that because that's what's in my logo. So you can select any font you want. You can get it to be perfectly square or whatever. So when you look at this, don't say, oh, wow, that's kind of crappy. But what it is, it's actually the font. So when you select your font, the other thing you've got to look at is how wide, and you can look at this on your Vectric software, how wide is it between here and here, how wide is your bit, and make sure you've got enough room to go in and clean it out. So this is normal for the font that I selected, the Brody D, and it's got these little oddball things, but that's the look I wanted, so that's what I went for. Now I did make this was the first piece I made right here. And you'll notice, comparing these two 4s, is this one I cut out with a 90-degree V-bit. And you'll see it went in here, and it tried to do, if you look at these little indents and little things here, it tried to do that with a V-bit, but frankly, the V-bit was a little too big. See these little lines here, a little line here, and it really didn't do the job or give me the look I'm looking for. It kind of looks hacked up. So I went back and I changed out the bit, changed the program, and I cut this out with a ball nose, and I used the same one to do this pass here. So this one on this set here, what you'll look at is, notice how that's rounded. And what I did was I went in there with a ball nose bit, made this rounded part. On the program, I cut the ball nose bit here to the inside of my line, and then I had the cutout to the outside of the line, so that's where I got that nice straight cut. But I also got that nice rounded edge on that ball nose from coming around. So when I did this, I used two bits. I used a ball nose for here. I used a ball nose for this edge, and then I went and changed the bit out and put in a straight cutter and cut this out here, and it made my tabs. And that's the way it is. So the setup here is I put a couple runners on, and that distributes the load so the X-beam can run with plenty of support for the cutting surface here. I cut them out, and I did these one at a time. I could have put them all in one program. As I get smarter, I'll do more smart things like that. And just cut them to where I put in a ball nose bit. I cut the number. I did around the first edge. And then I changed the bit and I did the straight edge. So I did this for each one of these because they were running separate programs. And that's what it looks like. But if you'll notice here, this is probably one of the points to take away is when you select your bit, is you really got to understand what your font looks like, how big the bit is, and what it's going to do, if it's going to do a good job for you or not. Yeah, that's okay, but it kind of looks hacked up compared to something like this. All right, so that's my setup. Those are the pieces that I made. Give me some feedback. Click like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.